Welcome to Reddit Stories featuring Tales from Retail. This might be relatable to you if you've been a sales lady or a supervisor or manager from a retail outlet. Let's begin. First story is from Kayal, entitled So Now I Have to Do Your Job Now? This happened 2 weeks back and it's just entirely stupid. Basically, we have a returns policy of 28 days on our clothes and some goods, no underwear or makeup. When coming back from lockdown, we extended our policy an extra 28 days for anybody who purchased anything that would have gone into the time that we had closed. We had two lockdowns, one in March and then a local city lockdown in June for like 2 to 4 weeks, so we reopened in earlier mid July. A guy comes to my counter with two receipts, one that was within date and one from July 27th. I explained to the man I couldn't do the July receipt because it was out of date, to which he responds, "But we were in lockdown." Naturally, if a customer becomes questionable, I just get my supervisor involved because sometimes I feel as if the customer listens more to higher positions. My supervisor says the same thing, to which he responds, "We were in lockdown." At this point, I'm questioning this, thinking, it's October. How did we expect to return it when we have a strict policy and we had reopened mid July, which was just in time for him to return his stuff? Plus, he would have had an extra month because of lockdown, meaning he had all of August. At this point, my supervisor decided to get a manager involved to see if they were going to go easy on the customer and let them get away with it. But guess what? My manager said the same thing as me and my supervisor and explained to him he had an extra month to return his things. I'm pretty sure she looked at him like he was an idiot. The customer is getting annoyed now and became sarcastic and said, "Wow, great work from company name." Anyway, we managed to at least do his other refund, but by this point he was off. Naturally, with what's been going on this year, our return system has changed. So customers have to put their returned items behind them, literally behind them by a few steps on these railings or blue box trolleys. So before the transaction ends and his money is returned to him, I tell him to please put his returned items behind him on the railing. Hing melts down at this point and shouts at me and says, "What? So now I have to do your job for you?" Yeah, full Karen mode was activated. I explained to him that due to the recent events, I couldn't do it. It was a way of preventing any spreading and making sure everyone is safe. Plus, it's literally right behind him, like a few steps away. I mean, come on. He does it, and when I tell him his total, I kid you not, he throws his credit card at me. I was in disbelief that he did that, so I played it cool and said, "No, don't give it to me. The card machine is in front of you." The transaction finished and he walked off without saying anything. Complete idiot. If he was thinking of getting away with returning something that was 4 months out of date, he had another thing coming. The funny thing is that he was with his daughter, and he acted more like a teenager than she was. The madness of Christmas came 2 months too early. Well, as early as now, some return policies had to be made. Some Karens or male Karens would definitely be exerting their powers, would be flexing extra for the coming months. Well, it's already the better months, so expect some transactions like these as early as now. I know it's just a Halloween month by now, but I live in a country where the Christmas season can stretch as far as practicable or as possible as any individual here could get. So, yeah, moving on. Next story is from Nat Molina. "That's not how it works, lady. So this happened a few years ago. I don't even work in retail anymore, but it suddenly vividly popped into my head just now, and I felt the same rage I did back then for a second, so I came straight here. So, the shop I worked at had a policy about selling only 2 boxes of painkillers per customer, just because if they happen to overdose, it's not on us at all. Obviously, they can go to more stores and buy more, but it just means that we weren't responsible for selling them all 4 boxes they took, if that makes sense. This was never a problem. Maybe an eye roll here and there, but usually it was just an, oh, okay, I'll just buy 2 then. Great, no problem. Anyway, a lady and her daughter come in and start putting the things on the belt, and I instantly spotted the 4 boxes of ibuprofen and said, I'm sorry, I can only sell you 2 of those boxes. It's company policy. She instantly snaps at me, saying she doesn't understand why. I tried to explain the policy as best as I could, all while she looked at me like I had 2 heads, rolling her eyes every few seconds. She even said defensively, I'm not trying to dispute the rules. But, like, what's this then? She then says, right, well, they're my daughters, so she can buy 2 of them separately. There, 2 boxes per customer. I was like, fine, whatever. She's a grown woman. She can buy them. I'm not going to argue anymore. And so I put 2 at the back with the till divider in front. I finished scanning everything, which took a while, might I add. And right as I scanned the very last thing, this lady finally goes, ugh, some of this is my daughter's. It needed to be scanned separately. What? I just said, oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realize, thinking internally. Why didn't you say anything? Anyway, she paid. I gave her the receipt, then I scanned the 2 boxes of ibuprofen for her daughter and said the price. The mom holds up her debit card again and waits for the card machine. Oh, great, just what I need. I said, mm, you said they were your daughters. She frowns and tilts her head forward at me like I'm an actual idiot and says, yeah, for her. I'm buying them for her. I said, but it's 2 per customer. I was under the impression that she would be buying them herself. This lady does the angriest sigh I've ever heard and aggressively pulls a $5 note out of her purse, waves it mockingly by her daughter's hands for a second, then slams it on my till. I just stared at her blankly, thought, you know what? Whatever. I can't deal with this. Scooped it up angrily, shoved it in my tail, and started to gather the change. I decided to take a breath, not let a stupid customer get to me, so I gave her the change. I said calmly, I'm sorry. I'm just really trying to follow the rules. This lady snaps, do not argue with me. I'm not arguing with you. I was actually dumbfounded and said, more bitterly now, I admit, I'm just doing my job. She snatches the ibuprofen up and literally snorts, oh, F off, and storms off. The daughter actually gave me a very apologetic look as they walked away, which softened the blow a bit. I wish I'd dealt with it differently now, but I was younger and less confident. Oh well. Anyway, I know it's not the wildest customer story, but I thought some of you would enjoy. Oh, definitely, we enjoyed that story. Now, I will not be surprised if you're no longer working in retail. It can be a stressful job. Most of the time, you simply have to take a job, what's there, and then hope that you could move forward to a better job. Oh, well, anyone always have an opportunity to move on to a better job. So, any other experiences that you would like to share? You might like to share in the comments. Yeah, as long as you keep it a point to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Click the bell for notifications to make sure that you get alerted of the latest uploads. See you on our next video. Thank you. Bye bye.